Shukrivar, Shanivar, Ravivar, Somivar, Mangalvar, Guruvar.
No.
Budvar, Guruvar, Mangalvar. So it's almost like growing up as an Asian American. You're neither Asian or American. So I didn't speak Chinese. I didn't blend in well. I didn't understand about Chinese movies. So you could say that I had a little bit of an identity crisis growing up where there's not really some place that I feel that I belonged. Study hard, do your homework, work, engineering, be a doctor. Don't make trouble in school. So
Those are the stereotypes.
yeah, that's the stereotypes. For the most part, I was those things. I went to Cornell University and I studied mechanical engineering. I wanted to be a rocket scientist. And is when I was in college, I actually did an internship for Lockheed Martin Missiles and Space. And as much as I enjoyed it, there was a dynamic energy that was missing from it. I think there are some things that had started to bubble up within me about wanting to have like an impact on the world. And I didn't feel like engineering was the way to do it. Growing up, I had never had any role models. I had never been able to turn on the TV and say, look, there I am. So I had this dream of starting up an Asian American record label. I got a little bit lucky and I found another guy who actually had the same dream as me. At the time, Britney Spears was a huge artist, so we thought that there needed to be an Asian Britney Spears. After 8 years, we looked at ourselves in the mirror and said, have we gotten to where we wanted to be? Have we created the Asian Britney Spears? And I think I'm proud to say we touched a lot of lives. I wanted to find something that would be globally impactful and not be so focused on who I was as a young child growing up. Because I would look at people who didn't have food on their table and I would say, yeah, it's great to have a role model, but that guy doesn't have food on his table. And so then I did what I think most people do when they feel like they're at a little bit of crossroads, and I decided to go back to school. So I went to school to study my MBA at Kellogg, and I decided to focus on social enterprise and trying to find business solutions for poverty. I ended up in India for my summer internship. I was just given free rein to explore, to understand the farmers' problems, to see what could be done for them. And it was just a really life-changing experience for me. So in 2012, I graduated from Kellogg, got on a plane, came to India. I think the biggest thing for me personally was going from a place where I had grown up to just being absolutely alone. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anything. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't have a place to stay. And I think the lowest point for me, if that wasn't low enough, was right after about a month or so of doing this, I decided to take a trip out. So I packed up all my bag into a luggage, went to visit different places around, sitting on the train, and just asking myself, Brian, are you serious? I always knew what I was trying to do. I always knew why I was trying to do it. But along the way, I've not always known how to do it. So after my own personal trials, I guess the next thing that came into play was building a team. So I was given a bit of advice a long time ago that you should look for your team everywhere. Whether it's at a party, whether it's at an event, everybody you meet, you're looking for a team where you are. And that's a challenge we've always faced. How do I meet people in Mumbai? How do the people when I'm in Mumbai talk to people at Vashi Market? How do those people even relate to the farmers? There are so many levels in between. There's so many cultural differences. Foreigner in India is like, I think what does Jay-Z say? He said it's a gift and a curse. I can walk onto the farm or into a government office and instantly be like honored guest. I think I rang in the first bell at some government office in Pune just by showing up, became the honored guest. The access I have and the perception behind me that I would have some money or some outside influence is the real benefit. But what's the curse is a couple of things. Is one, that people think I'm gonna leave. So I think for years I've been fighting this perception. I was sitting in the middle of rural Maharashtra, and the farmers on the side were talking in Hindi or Marathi at the time. And my teammate just said, those guys are saying, this guy's from Japan, don't worry, he's gonna leave.